Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you enjoyed the last video. Today the new topic is Q and how it is implemented in Python, which I would be explaining you with the help of programming, and also the concepts of Q I will try to explain in this video. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the topic. First, you need to imagine that Q is kind of a cylindrical shape structure which is open from both the ends. Now, what does that mean? That means that whatever you enter first in it will also get removed in that order. So it works on a principle known as first in, first out order. Whatever elements that you enter first will also be removed first. For example, if you take or put the elements in this fashion, suppose this is a queue, and suppose you want to enter elements in this fashion. First, you enter 10, so it will get stored here. Next, you're gonna enter 5. For example, suppose you're gonna enter 2 in third place, and then you want to enter 1 here, or you want to enter 12 here. So this is the preference that you want to enter the elements. So what will happen, suppose obviously there are indexes to each and every place that is occupied in queue, which is similar to an array or a list that you might be familiar if you have a little bit of knowledge and background of computer science. So suppose this is an index number 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3, this is index 4, and likewise. So what will happen is that in this queue the process takes place as first in first out order. So what you entered first, the first thing that you entered in the queue was this, which is this block. So this block will also get removed first. So it basically works that whatever is there on the 0th index, it will remove that item. In other words, you can say like that. So here the 0th array is pointing to the memory which is storing 10, so it will get removed first. And then what will happen, that this will get cancelled out, and then whatever here it is, this will become the 0th index, and then this will become the first index, and likewise this will become 2, and this will become 3. So whatever elements get cancelled out in the removal process, it deletes that index or the memory space that is occupying in queue. So basically it deletes that address space. So now the new indexes of these numbers of I can show you in other color. So the new indexes of these four elements would be the one that I have arrowed here. These would be the new indexes of these below elements which I have underlined in red. So 12, 1, 2, 5 are having now indexes as 3, 2, 1 and 0 respectively. So yeah, it works like that. And you can also imagine what will happen in the next step. Suppose that you wanna remove another element from it. Like suppose you wanna remove 5. So that will again, this kind of activity will happen again. So suppose you wanna remove 5 from here. In this from these 4 remaining numbers, you wanna remove this. You wanna remove 5. So these are the data that you have entered in a queue, or these are the indexes of these number. That is, this is the 0th index, this is the first index, this is the second index, and this is the third index. So here the 0th element is 5. So after 10, what you entered earlier, you entered 5 after 10. So in that process also it will follow the first in first out order, and it will get removed. So being the 0th index here, after the removal of 10, this will be getting removed here if you use the removal function that is dq, which I will explain later. So according to that, this zeroth element, which is 5 in this case, will get removed. So whatever remains will now change their indexes, and they will become they will become 0, 1 and 2. So this process keeps on continuing unless you want to add elements or something like that, but this process gets continued when you keep on removing the elements. Suppose you have removed all the elements from q. So what will happen in that case? Suppose you have removed all the elements from a queue and a queue is empty like this. So what will happen? A thing that the dequeue function, which helps us to remove the elements from queue, also does is that when the queue is already empty or the queue does not have any items in it, it will raise an error or a warning kind of thing. Dequeue is the function that helps in removal of elements. So what this dequeue function will do, dequeue function does two things. First, as I said, it is used to remove the elements from a queue, which I showed how it does. And secondly, what dequeue does is that when the queue is like this, which I have mentioned below, when the queue is empty, it will cause something known as underflow error. Underflow error or a warning kind of a message. While programming, it will give you that the queue is empty, and first you need to add items in it, and then only dequeue can remove it. So it raises an underflow error or a warning message whenever the queue is empty and you are trying to remove elements from a queue. So secondly, I would like to explain the method or a function known as enqueue, which is somewhat does the opposite of what dequeue does. So yes, the next function which queue uses to add the elements to a queue is known as enqueue. It also does two things. Just like dequeue, when dequeue raises an underflow error when the queue is empty, enqueue does the exact opposite of it. Since it is used to add the elements in a queue, when the queue is already full, it causes something known as overflow error. Overflow error. What this overflow error or a message will tell you is that when you're trying to add elements to a queue which is already full, it will say to you that first you need to remove the elements from a queue one by one, and then only you can add the elements to a queue using the enqueue function. So adding takes place like this. I'm going to show you now. As I explained earlier, adding in a queue is not that difficult. Suppose this is a queue and you want to add items to a queue. It will get added by using the enqueue method. Suppose you want to add 5 to it, and next you're going to add 10 to it, and so on and so forth. This is the way enqueue is used to add the elements to a queue. So I hope you got a fair idea about how enqueue and dequeue work. So next I'm going to show you how you can code or implement queue in Python. So I would be using Python language here to show you how you can code or implement queue functionality in it. So I'm going to use Python 3, and the links for that will be in the description below. So yeah, let's jump straight into the programming, and by using Python I'm going to show you how you can implement queue. We'll be writing a code in Python now to for queue implementation. So first of all, as you can see, I have created init function in Python, and the next that I will create is a view function that I am going to make, that will enable you to view your queue. So for viewing, you will need a for loop because it will iterate through each items that are there in the queue. So obviously for that you need a for loop. So we'll create a for loop here, and you have to be extremely careful with the syntaxes of the respective programming languages that you are using for obvious reasons. So yeah, keep on watching. And by the way, I'll be creating two more functions after this, because obviously, which I explained you, the enqueue and the dequeue function. So yeah, I'll make quickly make this four functions, and I'll be getting back to you. So yeah, this is the full program of queue implementation in Python. So the only change that I made from the earlier code was that I there was some indentation error, so I sorted that out, because obviously Python won't work if the indentations are not proper. So I took some time and I figured it out. So now indentation is perfect. And one more thing that I changed is that earlier it was in round brackets, which is not allowed if you are entering items in a queue or a array. So it won't work like that. So you need these square braces, and inside that square braces you need to insert the items that you want to add in a queue. So yeah, this is the program. So now I will be showing you the output of my program which I created. So as I press F5 to run my program, these are the three things it's showing me, as I already entered these three things in my program in the if statement. So if I press 1, it will show me the contents of my queue. So the contents that I already entered in my queue is all the best, which I already entered in the init function of my program. So it's showing me that. Now if I want to add any more items to it, I will press 2 according to the condition that I gave in the program. So if you see, it's asking me enter the item you want to add. If I press 2, it does the enqueue process. That's why it's telling me enter the item you want to add. So if I want to add anything like Python, for example, it will get that added to my queue. Now if I view again, see, it's showing me Python also. So this is the way you add items to your queue. And now thirdly, if you want to dequeue or remove the items from a queue, I'll press 3 according to the condition that I gave in the program, and it will remove all. See, it's removed all. Now why all? Because I already explained that queue works in first out order. So all was the first thing that I entered in my queue. That's why it's removing that first two. So again, if I remove, it will remove the. See, it's removing the. So this is the way queue works in the removal process. This is the way the dequeue function works. See, if I press 3 again, it will remove best. And now lastly, if I remove again, if I remove the item again, it will remove Python, which I added the latest to my queue. That's why it's removing in the last. See, if I press again 3, see, it removes Python. So I hope you got the point and you understood how queue works. Even after that, if you have any queries or if you are getting any errors in the compilation of this program, please feel free to comment down below. I will try to answer those questions. Also, if you like this video, please like it and share among your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see such informative and technology related videos and solutions. So yeah, your support means a lot. See you in my next video, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.